When you only have $100 to start investing, or you want to dust off that old account you forgot about, you don't want to overcomplicate things. And that's why these three ETFs make sense. A lot of people think that they need thousands of dollars to invest, but when your money is limited, every decision feels bigger. You don't have time for constant switching. That's why small contributions will force you to be consistent. So when I chose these three ETFs, I was asking which ones make sense for long-term steady investing that I get purchase for $100 and consistently put that $100 in, whether it's $100 a paycheck or $100 a month. So let's look into these three ETFs. If you're new to investing in ETFs, that means you're buying a basket of companies in one bundle. So say you buy one ETF, you could get exposure to thousands of companies in that one ETF. I'm starting with the first ETF, and that is SCHB. I'm using the ETF database to do the search, and that site is etfdb.com. I'm going to the search bar right here. I'm typing in SC. Okay, so the first one is the Charles Schwab US Broad Market ETF. And let's check the expense ratio. That is 0.03%. So that means this is the yearly fee that's going to be charged. Now, say you just put in $100 for the year, and that charge will be 3 cents. Now, this ETF gives you broad diversification. It's designed to track the Dow Jones US Stock Market Index, which includes approximately 2,400 companies, and that's the largest publicly traded U.S. companies across large, mid, and small cap segments. Now, this gives you coverage across all sectors, which includes technology, financial services, and healthcare. Buying this reduces buying a single stock or a sector specific risk. Now, this is ideal for a buy and hold investment for long term investors focused on steady growth. So, let's look at the holdings. So, this is the top 15, and you'll see some familiar companies. We have NVIDIA, we have Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and we have Google, AVGO. These are some of the largest companies. We have Walmart, Visa, and you could go down here to the holdings. The number of holdings is 2,399. So that means you get an exposure to all these companies when you buy one ETF. So this is the first one that I've included. So the number 2 ETF on my list is the Schwab Intermediate Term U.S. Treasury ETF. Now, this ETF is a U.S. government secure loan where you lend money to the U.S. government and you receive interest payments every 6 months. You receive the current yield that's specified on the note, and you get the annual return plus the original amount when the note matures. These are also state and local tax exempt and are usually 3 to 10 years. I like these because it's a balanced approach to bond investing and one of the safest investments available. So let's just take a look at the holdings. So you'll see right here, like the first one,
The yield is 4.625%, and it matures on February 15th, 2035. So you'll get the annual returns plus the original amount when the note matures. So let's look at another year. This one, you'll get that May 15th, 2035. So you'll see that there's different dates for the different notes. So that's the second one, the Schwab Intermediate Term U.S. Treasury ETF. Now let's go to the final one, and that is FHLC. And this one is a Fidelity MSCI Healthcare Index ETF. Now let's see, the expense ratio is 0.08%, and the top holdings is Eli Lilly, Johnson & Johnson, United Health Group, and Abbott, Intuitive Surgical. We have Pfizer. So there's a mix because this is an index. So this is a healthcare sector, and it's often considered defensive, meaning it can hold up relatively well during broader market downturns or turbulence. Now this can make the FHLC an attractive option for conservative investors looking to reduce the downside risk. Now this ETF adds a sector tilt to complement the broad market exposure that you'll receive from the SCHB ETF. This is how I allocate $100. For SCHB, the U.S. Broad Market ETF, I'll put $40 or 40%. For SCHR, the Intermediate Term U.S. Treasury ETF, I'll put $10 or 10%. For FHLC, the Healthcare Index ETF, I'll put $50 or 50%. Now, your allocations may be different based on your personal finances. I'm using Fidelity because I can purchase fractional shares. The goal this year is to take advantage of compounding interest and dividend reinvestments, to put my dollars to work and increase my shares and grow my Roth IRA. So whether you have $100 a month or $100 every paycheck, I believe that these three ETFs are good choices that you could look into. So let's recap. These three ETFs, one for exposure to the broad market, one for exposure to healthcare, and one for exposure to the treasury bills. This will give you growth and income. Also, please remember that this is your personal investing journey. So please do your research. And this is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. And if you're new to investing or returning, please check out my last video. That's where I got the clarity and the focus on my retirement portfolio. There's 3 important questions that need to be answered, so I'll link that below. So if you're new to investing, it's not about knowing everything, it's about starting. So just start. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.